Hello, welcome everybody. This is Bill Thomas, and we are just a few moments away from beginning this week's episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. Um, this one I think you'll find most interesting. Uh, it is designed to take a particular subject about the power of leaders, the real power of leaders, and show you how you can amplify, magnify, channel it, how you can increase it, and how you can use it effectively to perform um, as an effective leader, actually. So just give us another moment or so, and then we're gonna begin the slideshow. Okie doke. So, alrighty. Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Bill Thomas. Welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. In this episode, we're going to, in this 14-minute episode, we're going to take a tour of the energy power stations employed and used by many legendary and highly effective leaders. You'll discover that you too can make the principles, paradigms, processes, and practical applications found in these generating systems work for your own desirable performance improvements. Now, author Robert Fritz, observes that structure determines performance. And I always tell my clients that leadership is a structured set of activities which must always be viewed as a system consisting of a minimum of 4 discrete energy events. And I believe we need to understand what makes a structure and what are the nature of these 4 energy events, and how do leaders tap into and apply or work with those energy events. As Bucky Fuller explains, a structure is simply a self-stabilizing energy event complex, which is composed of a system of dynamically stabilized, self-interfering, and thus self-localizing and recentering, inherently regenerative constellar association of a minimum set of 4 energy events. Since we are talking about the challenges of cognitive leadership, Bucky's insights show us how our thoughts, reasoning, assumptions, decisions, or judgments can be processed, organized, and coordinated through cognitive structures, models, or edifices. Cognitive sciences like to describe the patterns we follow to make our decisions, choices, and sort out our preferences as tapping into a structural process called cognitive scaffolding. In their opinion, we tend to arrange our thoughts, emotions, judgments, and goals as a building which is constantly undergoing construction. Says author Ray Herbert in his latest book entitled On Second Thought, Outsmarting Your Mind's Hardwired Habits. Peter Drucker applied the lessons of scientific historian Thomas Kuhn's Structure of Scientific Revolutions and identified that our current model for technology is now based upon our understanding of the biological processes occurring within an organism or an ecological niche, and that those biologic processes are not organized around electrical, mechanical, magnetic, atomic, or other forms of physical energies, but those biological processes are information-based energies. What your typical HR-led leadership or management development course will not tell you is this: leadership and management and economics and governance and mass communications use scientific principles, and thus they are socially based technologies, and that every physical or social technology uses and operates through its own techniques, structural constructs, disciplines, and systems to achieve its desired results. whether it is to manage or publish messages or evaluate the health of an economy, so that the ecological niches that leaders like you and I operate in can be social activities. For example, this webinar that you and I are involved with at this moment in time, or a conversation with your boss or with an employee, are a social activity. While these social ecological niches can be in industry like manufacturing, retail, food services, or network service providers, or it can be an ecological niche which is a profession like, which could be a profession like the legal, medical, accountancy, or academics. And finally, social ecosystems are what we call an organization or a governmental or real estate sales agency, a corporation or a major sales account, or an IT project team, are all social ecosystems. In my more than 40 years of practicing leadership, along with 25,000 plus hours of teaching and studying leaders, I have found that these four general energy events tend to prove Bucky Fuller's definition of a dynamically sound, stabilizing structure for leadership successes in most circumstances and in many situations. For example, leadership, which practices transformational, situational, or spiritual leadership, always includes a rigorous philosophy. Leadership that is guiding enterprises or entities uses an empathic strategic intention. Leadership which operates on people, processes, or products always includes purposeful activities. And that leadership that continues with injections or installments of energy is always far more sustainable than leadership that doesn't use those things. Now, there are four types of leadership practices, generally speaking. They produce an appearance of responsibility, authority, role, and style, which every leader needs to use in their social activities or engagements with people and individuals. They must have knowledge or information about the health and welfare of their social ecosystems or organizations. Leaders also need to use these four types of practices to follow the rules and demands of their social ecological niches, which are their marketplaces, communities, industries, and professions. There are four domains of human capital, which develop the wealth of every enterprise through its attributes, capital assets, resources, and impacts. Your leadership power, ability, strengths, and insights have to work on, work with, and work for something called human capital. And every form of capital, whether it is financial, physical, like equipment or a system, or human capital, always has certain specific describable attributes, resource definitions, asset assignments, and types of impacts that capital makes on some greater social entity. For example, in financial capital, it could be a corporation or an equity marketplace like a stock exchange. And for human capital, it could be for an ecosystem like a project team, a department, a division, a community, or an organization, or an or it could also have an impact on an ecological niche like a profession, industry, or regional alliance of nation states. There are four developmental techniques. Leadership involves the cultivation, nurturing, development, and enriching of human capital through the four energy events of training, consulting, coaching, and planning. Generally, leadership means identifying, pursuing, and achieving these four missionary or mandated objectives of making inroads towards solving problems or overcoming challenges, shaping innovations throughout your organization, producing continuing continuous improvements, and generating increases in profits and goodwill. Please notice that all four of those four missions on the left side of the slide are the result of a collection of the four distinctive energy events described on the right side of the slide. There are four exercises of power where leaders are optimizing the performances of the enterprise using focus channeling, amplifying, magnifying, and enhancing strategies. When you think about it, these information rich, information directing, and information driven strategies, indeed, all forms of strategies, are the life sustaining, life regenerating, and life giving forces that your social activities, ecological niches, and social ecosystems need to survive and thrive. There are four creativity imperatives. Leadership means complying with the energizing or empowering information based imperatives of creativity via its visionary images, passionate decisions, breakthrough solutions, and developmental strategies. For instance, how could your team or you embrace the dictates of operational agility, strategic alignment, and strategic execution, disciplined experimentation, and broadening your cadre of intelligent systems thinking and spiritual leaders? With these four power rationalizations, employing leadership power to effect a change or on an ideal, which is physical, which is acting on, intellectual, which is acting with, emotional and spiritual, which is acting for, or developmental, which is acting towards. Leaders have to take direct action because every challenge, every problem, trouble, difficulty, or opportunity you encounter as a leader provides you with a compelling rationale for and requires that you take action on something, that you act with some idea, that you act for some worthwhile or worthy ideal, and that you act toward some form of progress or advancement. In your every leadership thought, action, and belief, you must be entrepreneurial in your approach, as if you were involved in a startup that faces uncertainty with a passionate desire to serve and a willingness to test or experiment at all times. That you are always transformational in your intentions and dedication to develop everything and everyone, that you make clear distinctions and meaningful changes in your services and products, and that you are philosophically authentic and principled in the nature of your leadership, and that you are a complete and competent professional in your methods, in your discipline, and your pursuit of new knowledge. Now, there are four positions of power. Leadership means putting yourself in the position of learning, committing, purposing, and trusting yourself to the efforts required for transforming your human capital into creative producers of wealth and growth. Jack Welch of General Electric, or GE, used his position of ignorance to ask questions of and learn about the plans, ideas, and intentions of his management teams and employees. And then Jack used their inputs to guide, direct, and lead them and the company to great successes. Leaders can use their actions to prove they are committed to their people, their vision, and their growth. Like Unlike Steve Jobs of Apple, who was totally purposeful in his daily work, leaders who have no purpose will soon discover that that their people have no passion or inspiration. And finally, every leader has to operate from a position of trusting others to do the right thing. And those leaders who trust loyalty and integrity of others will find that others will begin to trust that leader in return. This ends today's lesson. What you're looking at is the the Legendary Leadership Power Tutorials and Coaching monthly performance improvement support program that we have for people who want to delve deeper into the mysteries and the secrets and the techniques and the strategies and the processes and the practices of legendary leadership. Okay, that sounds like quite a bit. This agenda is a very quick overview of some of the things that you will learn, practice, and master in this program. Plus, you'll participate in 2 unique 75-minute to 90-minute group coaching sessions every month. You will also have 60 total minutes of private one-on-one coaching and tutoring follow-up with me, that's me, Bill Thomas, each and every month, where it'll be just you and I sharing our ideas, our notes, our diagrams, our strategies, exercises, and case studies, etc. In a private, confidential setting so that nobody else knows what we're talking about and how we're doing it. So this is coaching, but it's also going to be tutoring as well. And then plus I'll be mailing you links to access, as well as mailing you a DVD or CD filled with useful ebooks, papers, reports, videos, and audio tutorials every month. Plus, you'll get free access to our 60-minute webinars and online classes every month. And in many ways, this, believe it or not, is actually a custom tailored multimedia blended learning program, which is better than getting a university level PhD in leadership and practical management for less than a tenth of the cost of that kind of university program. So I want to encourage you to consider um, uh, yeah, all right. So what are we doing here? Thank you. All right, boy, that's very good. Very good. Yeah, it wants to go to a page that doesn't even exist. Okay, and I apologize for that. I don't know if it's going to come back or not. But while you're looking at the blank screen, I'll give you a on the right hand side. You'll see a better description of this offer, and all you need to do is to just take a click on that button there that says enroll and get started now, and you'll get a much greater description and definition of the entire program, more than what I want to do right now. It will open up a new tab or a new window in your web browser, so you'll be set with that. And while you guys are looking at that, I'll just make sure that I get this thing to work again here. Let's see. Thank you. Okay, let me go back. All right, good. All right, and while you're looking at that, I'm going to, in the chat area, I'm going to put the links to your bonus materials. And here's the first bonus. If you give me one quick second, I'll put that into the chat area. And then what you can do is you can just click on the PDF link. The first one that I put up is the 5 Leadership Uplifter Task infographic. That's something you can print out and put on your desk or on a wall if you have a bigger print of it, and use it to guide your actions as a leader. They are guaranteed to really improve the performance and engagement that you have with your employees and with your colleagues as well. You'll love that infographic, and even though it seems pretty simple, it'll be a great reminder, and do more than that. It'll help to guide your actions as well. What types of actions will produce the uplifting objectives that you are trying to achieve as a leader. And then the second thing is our Words with Wisdom, uh, the Rainbow Moment of Black Elk paper. It's 8 pages. It's filled with little tips, techniques, strategies that you can follow. It'll help you get how shall I say, a deeper understanding of a few of the principles that we covered in today's webinar as well. So again, that's a PDF document as well. Both of these are PDF documents, so that makes it easy for any type of computer or laptop, or in many tablets as well, can read that, and even the smartphones can read it too, but you got to get the app for your smartphone to be able to read PDF documents. But other than that, that's everything that I promised you. Did it in less than 14 minutes, which is always good. And so if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, or you have any questions right now, you can put them into the chat area. If you are watching the replay, there is a questions area on the right hand side of the screen, and you can just type in that, and I will receive those questions, so don't worry about it. And I always respond to the questions. Okay, so don't be too concerned. If you have a question and you're watching the replay and you say, hey, wait a second, how do I get in touch with this guy? Just basically put it in. Put your question into that question box and click the submit button, and I'll receive it and then communicate with you going forward. And if you want, as part of your question, if you want to put in your phone number or your Skype ID or your email address, even though I will get your email address because you had to register to, and my system knows that, oh, it was you who put that question in. So it will automatically forward your email address to me anyway. But, if you have anything better, a better email address or a phone number or Skype ID, I definitely, I love speaking to people on Skype. So, if you want me to answer your question on Skype, you can just put that in. Okay. All right. This is Bill Thomas. Seeing no questions or other comments, I'm going to wrap it up and thank each and every one of you for attending today and for listening to the replay, if that's where you are. And I thank you. I say God bless each and every one of you. Godspeed to you, and the best of successes in your leadership endeavors and on your leadership adventure. This is Bill Thomas signing off. Have a great day.